Hi everyone, wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom U'Vorach. I want to share with you an amazing story that took place around 100 years ago. A lady gives birth and the baby is nursing, all is well. Until Shabbat comes, the baby refuses to nurse. Again, the next week, the baby's nursing until again Shabbat, and the baby's not nursing. And the baby's crying and the mother gets very worried. This can't go on. She goes to the doctors cannot explain it. Until finally she comes to one of the greatest rabbis at the time, the Rogatchover Rav Yosef Rosen. And when she explains what's going on and begs him for help, the rabbi thinks and he finally says, of course. The answer is in Perashat Mishpatim, this week's Perashah. The lady had no idea what he was talking about. So he explained. One of the things that's discussed in our Perashah is damages that somebody's ox causes to someone else. How much is the owner responsible to pay for the damages of their ox? The Torah says, well, if it's a short tam, if it's a calm, domesticated, disciplined animal, maybe that's where the word tame comes from. If it's a tame ox, then the owner is only responsible to pay for half. But if it's a shor mu'ad, if it's warned, if it's a wild animal, then the owner should have known to watch it better, and he's responsible to pay in full. And it's possible that sometimes an ox is tam, normal, calm, tame on the weekdays, and mu'ad and dangerous on Shabbat. And in that case, if it damages on the weekday, it has to pay half. And if it damages on Shabbat, the owner has to pay in full. And the Yerushalmi asks, how is that possible? How could an ox be tame on some days and wild on others? It's either a wild animal or it's not. Oxes don't have mood swings. And the Yerushalmi answer is no, it's very possible. It's possible that this ox is a tame ox. But what happens is on Shabbat, everybody's wearing Shabbat clothing. And when the ox sees this new clothing, this more colorful clothing, it gets all disoriented and it becomes a wild ox. The Rogatchover turns to this lady and he says, your baby is used to nursing from you and your weekday clothing. But on Shabbat, you switch your clothing. The baby's not used to you. The baby cannot nurse from you with your Shabbat clothing. Try wearing your weekday clothing on Shabbat and see what happens. Of course, the lady tried it and it worked like a charm. You know, sometimes we read certain passages in our Torah and we wonder, is this relevant to my life? Why am I reading about an ox? This law seems so obsolete. It seems so irrelevant. It's outdated maybe. And it takes geniuses like the Rogatchover Rav to remind us how beautiful and rich every single pasuk, every area of our Torah is. Everything, if studied the right way, if understood properly, could shed light throughout our lives. This is the timelessness of our Torah. This is the beauty of our Torah. How lucky we are. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, that we have such a beautiful Torah to help us. May we be zocheh to always use it to guide us throughout our lives. Shabbat Shalom.